Time for another video. I got a package, but I don't know who this particular one is from, so I thought I'd open it here. So, the idea for this video is I'm going to show you my process of building a cocktail from start to finish. And yes, it is what I was hoping it was going to be. If you haven't heard of these guys are, well, I presume, because I recognise the box shape. These guys are a New Zealand-based brand called Cardrona. They make some of the best spirits I've ever had. I tried them for the first time last year. A good friend of mine, Tom, works for them. And the vodka especially, the vodka and the whiskey mainly, two products that absolutely blew my mind. All single estate, all super interesting, but look at that. Look at that absolute pure sexiness of one. But I'll talk to you a bit more about them because they've asked me to do a video for their Instagram, so I'll do a video for that where I talk about them a bit more and the drink that I design. And then for you guys, I will do a video about building the cocktails. This stuff, the Reid. So where I always start is obviously by tasting the spirit. It's pretty important. Always come to it with an open mind. Make sure you've got a pen, paper. I can't afford sound effects, so I'm just going to be making some of these. First taste of the day, always give it a little swirl around your mouth first. And then when I always just start writing down tasting notes, things that I smell, things that I taste. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I taste a pear. So I do taste pear on this, by the way. It's that sort of creamy pear. A lot of people pull it off as banana. So start with flavour notes that you pick off of it. So say pear. Doesn't just have to be a pear. Go, right, is it ripe pear? Is it raw pear? Is it pear pie? Is it sugared pears? What sort of pear is it? Try and break it down. If you can't and you just get pear, that's absolutely fine as well. So start off by just going bang, this flavour note, this flavour note, this flavour note, this flavour note. So start with your base spirit, learn about the brand, taste it. What'd you get? What'd you get on the nose? It doesn't just have to be flavours, it can be things that remind you of. So these remind me of the pear drops. Remember you used to get them, like there's pink ones and little green ones sugared. It just takes me straight back to a kid when I was trying them. So start picking up flavours, writing some down, and that's a really good place to build. Something I like to do as well is try it in more than one type of glass. Take your time to get to know your spirit. So it's going in a wine glass as well. I find with wine glasses, it really opens it up. People tell me not to do this all the time at tastings because it aggravates the alcohol and you get alcohol on the nose, but I quite like doing it anyway, so I do it anyway. You can just give it a little, if you want to blow the alcohol out. Just don't give it to someone else after. They find it weird if you blow in their drink. So it really opens it up more. So I'm just going to take a little time with this spirit. I might time lapse it or something, I don't know. Got a wine glass. Got my trusty Hideout whiskey glass or Glencairn. Not necessarily just for whiskey, I just find it's very good for tasting. I'm going to get some notes. Also, add water. It's really good. If you see any professional tasters or tasters that are judging competitions, they dilute spirits till they're like at some points like 20% ABV, because you're always going to pick out different flavour notes. And when you're making a cocktail, what do you do 99% of the time? you dilute it. You might not necessarily just be diluting it with water. It might be a fruit juice, it might be Coke, it might be, oh my God, putting Coke with stuff, oh my God. Hey, it makes a nice drink sometimes. Water might just be with another spirit, but you're still, even if you are adding another spirit to it, you're still diluting that flavour profile, if that makes sense. That sounded like it was really intelligent, but I don't think it was. Just thought I didn't press record then. That was close. So I've just taken a few things down. Don't have to spend hours on this. What I tend to do is I'll sit down, write some notes initially, and then I'll just take half an hour with it. Just sit down with a glass, doing what you do, trying not to concentrate on it too much, and just enjoy it as a spirit, as it's made to be enjoyed. And when you're not purposely trying to concentrate on it, you'll probably pick up some stuff. So I'm gonna go chill out for half an hour, have a sip of it, do some other stuff while I'm thinking about it. Simple points: taste it, multiple glassware, write down flavours, and then break those flavours down if you can. Add water and spend some time with it. Don't try and rush it, just drink it as it's meant to be. I think that's covered pretty much everything I do when I taste stuff. And then we'll get to the planning stage afterwards. That's the plan anyway. It's ridiculously good. Finished doing the tasting notes last night. It was a bit late to sort of move on to the next stage. So I had a few ideas, so I've got to go pick up some bits today. I'll go get them, and then we'll go over the next stage, which is the planning time for the drink. It's a beautiful day, and I planned on going to the shop to pick up a couple of bits. I made the mistake of asking if anyone else needed anything, so got my bag. So I've got a shitload to get now. So catch you in the planning phase. Peace. So, you have done your tasting, you've written down a whole load of tasting notes, and you feel like a king. Remember, your tasting notes, if you can break them down and get more accurate flavours, great. If you can't, don't worry about it too much. As long as you've got some flavours to work with, that's the main thing that matters. So, when you've got your big old list of flavours that you've picked out, you've got to decide, work out what this drink's for. Is it for you at home? If it's for you at home, mustard, do whatever you want, doesn't matter. If it's for a cocktail menu, make sure it's sticking to the theme of the cocktail menu. Make sure the clientele of the bar that the cocktail menu in are gonna like this sort of style of drink, and make sure you're making it to the use of abilities you have and what equipment you have. Don't design a cocktail that you're going to use a rotovap ingredients if you haven't got a rotovap, because it's just not going to work and you're going to stress yourself out. Work to what equipment and abilities you have, and you can learn new stuff and purchase new stuff along the way, but if you're just starting, don't jump ahead of yourself. Another thing what it could be for, which is what this drink's for, is for a brand. So I'm designing this cocktail for Cardrona to go on their Instagram. So I need to make sure that it fits their sort of brand style. So I've done a lot of research on the brand, I've done a lot of research on New Zealand, and my drink's gonna be based around that, and it's gonna be on their Instagram. They want it to be something that their customers that are watching Instagram can make at home. It has to be relatively simple. I'm gonna do it to this sort of time of year so people can make it now. So it's got to fit in with a summery theme, and it's got to be brand appropriate and fit in with their sort of brand style. When you know what flavors you want to use, what it's for, and what sort of style drink you want to do, then you can start thinking of ingredients. So take your flavor profiles that you picked up from earlier, work out flavors that can go with them. If you've got a flavor thesaurus, it's a great book. Go into that, start looking up flavors. If you haven't, go on Google, look on the web, look at flavors that work together, look at meals or cakes and all sorts, or other people's cocktails that they've used before where they've matched in flavors, and see what you can use and what you can put together there. And one thing to make sure of is, if you say want to use cinnamon to enhance the pear flavor that you've picked out, make sure cinnamon isn't knocking against one of your other flavors that you're working with. Make sure everything works together and is balanced. Talking of balance, make sure your drink's balanced. The amount of times I've had people have told me about a drink that's really interesting, using really interesting techniques, but it's slightly off balance, it's just madness. A lot of people that I know in the trade who have been doing it for a long time have said that they've been to bars that are some of the best in the world, seen as some of the best in the world, and had unbalanced drinks. So obviously sometimes you have a whiskey sour, for example, and it needs to be on that sour side, but make sure your drink's balanced. So imagine a triangle. You've got your bitter at the top, which is going to be usually your main source of alcohol, and then on the sweet side, that's going to be your modifiers and liqueurs, and then on your citrus side, you're going to have basically a citrus juice or acid. Obviously that isn't hard and fast. There's other times where you can bend the triangle out a bit more and make it sweeter on one side or more bitter on the other, but always make sure that all of those elements are in the drink and make sure they're working well together. So when you've got all of those parts down, so you've got the flavors that you want to work with, you know who and what this drink is for, you've done your research on the brand, you made sure you're not going to have any clashing flavors in there, and you know what ingredients you're going to be using to fill in those three parts of the triangle, the bitter, the balance and the sweet. Start making some cocktails. Grab some ingredients, try some stuff. What I say is try making it on small scales first, so you're not wasting loads of stuff, and then when you've made loads of little bits, go, right, that really works, I need that, and then amp it up. Taste some full-size ones. Don't just taste it yourself and go, that's amazing, I love this, this is the best drink ever. Get some other people to taste it. Everybody has slightly different palates. Your palate's going to change throughout the day, their palate's going to change throughout the day, so get other people to try it, get feedback. Don't take it to offense if people don't like it. And make some beverages. So that's your sort of planning of drinks down. Now I just need to go and make some of these ready for the Instagram video. So if you want to see what I come up with after doing those stages of things, you can head over to Cardrona's Instagram and it'll be on there at some point. I'm not sure if it's going to be on before this video goes out or after. If you've got any questions, give me a shout. Drop a comment message down below. That's really weird saying that. I don't know if that should be a thing or not. But I've gone very loosely on this. There's obviously a huge amount of time and effort that goes into designing cocktails. If you want me to go more into it on certain aspects, let me know and I can in the future. But in the meantime, taste some spirits, go out there, make some drinks and just have fun with it. I will catch you in a bit. Cheers.